I still remember the day I married my wife, like it was yesterday. I was drawn to a devotion to church. My wife is one of prayer warrior in the particular church that I will not mention. She was always attending church activities, never bothered with makeup. She doesn't make up. Even the day of our wedding, she refused to make up. She don't wear makeup. She don't wear earrings. So I thought to myself, this is the kind of woman I need. Someone who would give me headaches. So we settled down. We settled into a comfortable life together. I wouldn't say I was wealthy. I wouldn't say that I'm rich, but at least I am okay. I'm fine. I'm living good. I don't beg for bread. But I had a small business that provided for our needs, for my needs, and I was grateful for that. And my wife is not even complaining. But then things started to fall apart. My business began to struggle. After 4 months I married her, my business began to struggle. And every aspect of my life seems to be, as in, shattered. Where was this darkness coming from? I was confused. I sought help from many places. Many things started happening, strange things started happening in my house. So I started looking for help. I sought help from many places. I sought help from many churches, prophets and prophetess, but each one told me something different. One said my neighbor was behind my troubles, while other claimed it was my brother or sister. The conflicting messages only added to my confusion. Who is Ife Nahota? I decided to consult native doctors and the traditional seekers. Seekers or healers. But their advice was just Nkefa the bad, very bad. Their own advice, bad. Because one told me that my forefathers were calling me to take up some sort of spiritual responsibilities. While other one said I needed to perform a sacrifice to appease a spiritual wife who was supposedly, hindering my progress. That the spiritual wife is the cause of my predicament. The more I sought help, the more confused I became. And to make matters worse, my business continued to decline, like I said. I decided to seek God's help directly. I committed to prayer for myself for 2 months. Every day I will pray, every day I will cry to God. I decided not to go out to search for help anymore. Seeking guidance and wisdom from God. But before I could even start my prayer journey, something unexpected happened though. One day, as I was driving home from work, I encountered a mad woman. This mad woman, she always stays in my streets. But every time I come back from work, she'll be pointing at my tire. So this time around, I decided to stop, to talk to know what she's doing. So she caught my attention by pointing at my tire again. I stopped to see what she wanted. She started speaking something I don't even understand. But then she said something that made my heart skip a bit. She said, your problem is inside your house. She told me to install cameras everywhere in my house and car. I was taken aback, but something about her words. She said that your problem is inside your house. That's what she told me. And I picked up this. As I prepared to drive off, she rushed back to me and said, don't tell anyone about this. Not your wife, not anybody, not your siblings. Don't tell anybody about this thing. Bye-bye. Something like that. I tried to brush off the encounter, but her words lingered in my mind despite my initial resolve to keep her advice to myself. I found myself wanting to share it with my wife, but something held me back. So instead, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I called a cameraman and had him install cameras all over my house, including the toilet and kitchen. I was determined to get to the bottom of my troubles, no matter what it would take me. So, after installing the cameras everywhere, including my car's house, I connected them to my phone to receive alerts. One day, my phone signaled that something was happening in the house. I opened the camera fed and saw someone knocked on the door. My wife answered, and to my surprise, it was my very good friend, also my business partner. They sat in the parlor laughing and discussing something. Then my wife got up to bring food for him, and my friend hit her on the buttocks. I was shocked and decided to continue watching to see what would happen next. My wife brought food from the kitchen, and my friend followed her up. They went in the kitchen, and I saw them. We are intimate in my kitchen, having it now. I don't want to say it here. Na-ekpo bonge. Ha na-akụpịọrị bonge na my kitchen. Ọ nọkwa ebe a narụ ya ofu aka. Ya bụrụ if Igbo na Igbo onye Igbo, ị ga-aghọta ihe nnekwu. Nọrọ ebe a narụ my wife ofu aka. Let me continue. Not only that, they returned to the parlor and they repeated the same action. I was mad. What was happening in my own house? I decided to observe everything for a month before taking action, but it was hard to keep quiet. Another notification came after 1 week, and I saw my wife's friends, women, 4 women, 3 women, my wife making them 4. I went into my bedroom, removed their clothes, and started having a party. I discovered that they were all lelele. You're supposed to understand. They began engaging in intimate acts. How? I was highly confused and shocked. I remembered when my wife got pregnant, had a miscarriage, and then got pregnant again. I started wondering if she was the one responsible for the miscarriages. I'm now feeling helpless and afraid. So I ran to my brother's house to seek his help. I also called my sister to come with us, fearing that if I confronted my wife alone, she might harm me. So, with my brother and sister by my side, we headed back to my house, ready to face whatever I see. I arrived at my house with my brother and sister, and immediately I called my wife. Please, madam, go in there, pack your things. You are leaving my house this minute. I will help you take back to your father's house whatever that you have in this house. My wife looked shocked and confused. What did I do? What's wrong? She asked. I just repeated my instruction. Go and pack your things. My siblings were confused too. Is this what you brought us here for? They asked. You didn't tell us what was going on. I told them to calm down. But my wife already knew that I had discovered her secrets. Without saying another word, she went straight to our bedroom, packed her things, and loaded them into my car. I drove her to her village, dropped her off, and returned home. After that, her family members started calling me, asking what had happened. I refused to tell them. I refused to tell them anything, saying they should ask their daughter instead. As far as I was concerned, the marriage was over. I was done with her deception and betrayal. My business was suffering because of her actions, and I couldn't take it anymore. I vowed never to marry her again. I refused to tell anybody. Should I tell my wife's people what happened? Should I tell my siblings? because I'm highly confused now. I don't know, but my joy is I don't have anything to do with her anymore. This is 6 months she left my house, and my siblings don't even bother to know what is happening because of the decision that I took. They said anytime you have time, anytime you feel like telling us, you go ahead and tell us, we will understand. So my question, please, can you people help me? Can I tell them, or can I sell those cameras to those videos to them for them to see?
Oh my God, things dey happen oo. Once you no Jim sister, a prayer warrior, I don't understand. Anyway sha, I can't judge anybody, but all I have to tell you guys, you have to be careful. You have to be careful.